Still no audio? Do we have audio now? Are we okay? Maybe. Let me know. I'm waiting for people in chat. Okay, you hear me. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Deja. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Let's start over. Should I play this intro again? I'm just kidding. Um, where do I begin? Hi, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. I'll try to remember what I said for the first 30 seconds here. Happy December 1st for people on this side of the world. Happy November 30th for those who live in the West. It's currently 7:38 p.m. in Chicago, but it is 9:38 a.m. here in Manila in the Philippines. I just realized that my bed is messy and there's stuff on my bed, like I think my phone and my wallet and my bag. And you know what? It's a great segue because it's a messy bed. Today's going to be a messy stream. We have a lot to talk about today. I have quite a bit to share with you. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Almost for the last 3 weeks has been a bit rough for me. I guess with that being said, how have things been for you? For people out in the West, I know a lot of you celebrated Thanksgiving. How did your Thanksgiving go? How did the weekend of Thanksgiving go for you as well? For many of you who celebrated Thanksgiving, did you get right back on the ball the next day? Or did you tell yourself, well, it's Thanksgiving, so let me also celebrate Friday, celebrate Saturday, celebrate Sunday, and then here you are right now watching me saying, I'm going to start on December 1st. I'm going to start on Monday. Tomorrow's the first day of the month. I'm going to start tomorrow. Listen, I get it. I didn't tell myself that exactly, but I know what it's like to want to start on Monday. I mean, I just came off eating 2 days in a row, and I'm currently fasted right now. I think 8 or 9 hours fasted at this point because I think I finished eating last night at like 12:30 in the morning. But I'm going to go through a lot of what's happened these last couple of days. For many of you who are not aware, I moved out of the country about 2.5 weeks ago now. And I have been completely thrown off my routine. I haven't been eating the same way I was eating before I left. I haven't had all my ducks in a row. But I will say I have at least tried to minimize damage where I can. The same question goes for many of you. Thanksgiving just came and went, but how did the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend go? I know in Chicago, about a foot of snow was dropped in Chicago. Everyone from back home was sending me pictures of all the snow in Chicago. And something like that, even cold, gray, dark weather can be enough of a catalyst to be like, well, it's shitty out, so will my diet. It's shitty out, so what's the point of even working out? It's shitty out, so why should I take care of myself? These moments, these are defining because they can help set you up for success or set you up for a different path that you probably don't want to be on. It's that spiral effect. When one bad day becomes two bad days, becomes a week of bad days, and then before you know it, you've gained all the weight that you've made progress on trying to lose in the first place. And my hope is that while we're here, we can have a conversation on how to stop that. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have a bad day every now and then. It's not that every now and then you're going to be celebrating a holiday, because you will, or a day out with friends. Or listen, my birthday is in 2 days. It's December 1st here. And my tito, my uncle, wants to take me out for breakfast. And if you know me well enough, I typically don't go out for breakfast. I am not a breakfast type person, but of course I want to go out with my tito on my birthday. He wants to take me out, wants to take me to a different part around Manila here. And of course I want to go. And even though it's not on my regular routine, I have to work with that. And I have to put a game plan and a strategy together. And that's my plan. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But before I continue on, just want to make sure that I give a little props to people who are in here. I appreciate all of you who are in here and chatting away already. Judy, Deja, Lori, Eric, Miss Peaceful One, put on the tiara, the writers, BMJ. BMJ, it's nice to see you. It feels like it's been a minute. Sydney, Jade. Who else is in here? Maggie, May, Cap Rising, Angie, Office Tech Typing, Rachel, Tanisha. So many of you who are in here. Sleck, Lynn, Happy Bunny, Angela. Did I already say Rachel? If I did, hi again, Rachel. Angela. Is that everyone? It might be. Usman, Vivian, Ronnie, A. There's so many more people in here. I love it. Names, policy, Ray Questo, Aaron. Hello. It's nice to see you all. I appreciate you spending some time with me. If it's dark and cold out, I feel you. I know what it's been like. But here in Manila, it's actually, I think it's a little overcast right now, but I went for a walk this morning. It was like 85 degrees. It was a nice walk. Okay. Let's take some time. Let's talk about accountability. The title of this live stream is Bringing Back Accountability this December. And that's exactly what I plan on doing this month. The last 2.5 weeks in November have, I mean, I don't want to call it a mess. It's been a great 2.5 weeks. It's been a lot of adjusting. It's been a lot of feeling settled in, a lot of meeting people I haven't seen in a minute, a lot of goodbyes for people who have been in my life for a while. And if I'm being honest, it's a lot to take in. And I have something else that I need to share with you all in a little bit, but yesterday, actually around this time, yesterday morning, I had an accident at the gym. I had a barbell drop on my head. It was about 45 kilograms, and my neck is killing me today because of it. And yesterday, when that happened, I was like, I didn't even want to do anything because of something like that. Um, but I'll talk about that in a second because it's just been the last 2.5 weeks have been crazy. I don't even know where to begin with a lot of this, but maybe what I'll do is I'll take some time and talk to you all. I'm going to share my accountability today. I'm going to put all my accountability on the table because it's helpful for me. I'm going to talk about my fasting, what my fasts have looked like, what my eating has looked like, what my sleep's been like, where I'm at mentally, how I'm feeling physically. I'm very sore today because I had a bar drop on my head. I'm okay, but it really messed with my neck and my back. And just life be lifing, right? Life be lifing. And you know what? I'm already used to talking in kilograms. When I had 45 kilograms drop on my head, that's about 100 pounds, everyone. But I'll talk about that in a minute. So, when I talk about being accountable, I want to take some time and talk to you all about your accountability. So, this is a chance for you to tell me now how you're doing. Share your accountability with me. You don't have to share just the good. If you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, if you're like me right now, if life is a little messy right now, share with me. Maybe it might be helpful to just let it out and be like, yeah, Jerome, I'm struggling right now. I don't know exactly what I need to do to get out of this, but I'll tell you right now, sometimes just being able to say it can be cathartic. Sometimes being able to say it can just get that load off of your chest, your shoulders, whatever, and it can help you move on. Also, realizing you're not in it alone. So, I'm going to scroll back up here. I'm just going to read through some chat on here and just see how all of you are doing. Deja says, these lives are like a warm hug on a bad day. That's really meaningful for me to hear, to know that these are helpful for many of you. Deja says, had a few treats here and there and feeling bad. When you say a few treats here and there, was it because of Thanksgiving? Was it Thanksgiving and the days forward? Been able to have one and move on, keep it in control, hit workouts slash good habits. So that's a win. Absolutely a win. Still feeling guilty, but wanting to enjoy a little holiday fun. And this is the fine balance that many of us face is, can you put control in having a little bit without overdoing it? Can you have control even though it's the Thanksgiving holiday? Sometimes what it means is maybe you lose a little control on Thanksgiving, but on Friday, the day after, you're back on it. Saturday, you're back on it. Sunday, you have a really good eating, clean, healthy day, and you're back on it. Sometimes it's a mix of the two. But I think the direction that most of us don't want to go is eat like shit Thanksgiving, eat like shit the next day, eat like shit the day after, and then also do nothing during that time. Lay on the couch. Oh, it's snowing. Oh, the snow's so bad. I'm not going to do anything for myself. And I get it. You can be stuck at home. I understand not wanting to go out, but it doesn't mean you have to lay on the couch all day either. There are still things that you can do for yourself. Thank you for sharing with us, Deja. Lori says, hi, everyone. Following my big pig out on Thanksgiving, I did a 68-hour fast, now back to ADF. And this is, again, this is a strategy here. Lori knew that they were probably going to have a big eating day on Thanksgiving. And how do they try to counterbalance that? And when I talk about counterbalance, counterbalance can be a very bad thing. Counterbalance can sometimes be like, oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to eat everything today and then I'm going to fast for 7 days. But sometimes if you have a lot of control, like I know Lori does, because Lori's been doing ADF for quite some time. Lori is, if I remember correctly, pretty much in maintenance. And Lori says something like, hey, I'm going to eat a lot during Thanksgiving, but I know that I'm going to push a big fast to kind of help balance that out. And here is Lori not doing another long fast after, now just following back into ADF, into doing alternate day fast. Thank you for sharing with us, Lori. Eric says, I've been watching old videos waiting for the stream for the past 4 hours. Eric, I appreciate your support because every time I check new comments, Eric is just commenting on like so much of my content because I think it helps keep Eric in check as well. But I appreciate the support, Eric. I appreciate the support. Eric also says, happy birthday, a bit late to Jerome's mom, too. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll pass it along to her. This Peaceful One says, hi, finally fasting fam. I'm up to 189 going into December, 8 pounds up since my last weigh-in. I'm not upset. I'll reach my goal because I won't give up. Hashtag imperfect consistency, hashtag patience. This takes a lot of courage to share from this Peaceful One, but in general from anyone to share something like this. A lot of people don't want to admit when they're up in weight. Many people don't even want to step on the scale. How many of you don't step on the scale after a bad eating day because you don't want to even know what that number might look like? You tell yourself, well, I'm just going to fast for the next 3 days and then I'll step on the scale because then I'll feel better. And I get that and I understand why people do that. But sometimes when you don't face the reality, when you are not accountable for what you're doing, that can be a problem. It works different for everyone. And I know that when I say this, I'm not saying that people have to step on the scale every single day. What I'm saying though is if you are somebody that will eat like crazy and not step on the scale on purpose because you don't want to see what that number is, you might be doing yourself a disservice. You might be practicing a bad habit because then it gives you an excuse to eat whatever you want because what does it matter? I'm not going to step on the scale. I'm not going to know. I'm going to keep that away from my head and I'll worry about it another day. Pushing the problem aside, right? But even the growth of Miss Peaceful One to say, I'm not upset. I'll reach my goal because I won't give up. These are the ups and downs that happen during this journey. And I'm not just talking about fasting, I'm talking about your weight loss journey. I'm talking about your health and happiness journey. I have had a lot of ups and downs. And this month of November completely did not go the way I thought it would go. My goal was very simple for the month of November, and it was just to be at a caloric deficit of 3,500 calories, just to lose another pound of body fat off of me. And that did not happen whatsoever. The month of November, the first half of the month, pretty good. Even as I was preparing to move out of the country, I still kept myself in check. But the moment I got on that airplane and landed here in Manila, every day has been a challenge. Some good days, a lot of overeating days, but you know what? It's better than 2.5 straight weeks of just eating like shit because I've still put control in what I'm doing. Thank you for sharing with us, Miss Peaceful One. I know you will get through this. I know that every day, regardless of what that scale says, it is a moment of learning. It is a moment of growth. It is a moment of showing up. So I appreciate you sharing with us, Miss Peaceful One. Let me see here. Eric says, I was up this morning, 3.45 kilograms after a big refeed yesterday. Not surprised after a 5-day fast, then 4 days of boiled eggs and is it kefir? Am I saying that right? Kefir? No, it's kefir, right? Someone help me with that. 16,000 steps yesterday, and we'll have even more today. Thank you for sharing with us, Eric. And like I've been reading a lot of Eric's journey, and I mean, even for something like this, when you talk about the way you refeed, it's pretty clean, right? It isn't like my refeeds yesterday or my refeeds lately. Yesterday was just, I had a get together and it was a lot of just a ton of different Filipino food, a lot of processed foods, a lot of foods that were just very high calorie dense foods that, well, I mean, it's showing itself on the scale today. It's showing itself just even when I looked at myself this morning, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Thank you for sharing with us, Eric. BMJ says, "Hi, fam, been struggling, but still trying." Sometimes that's where the effort just starts is, can you show up? Can you be accountable? Can you even just say something like this? So thank you for sharing with us, BMJ. Sydney says, "Hey, everyone, hit my goal today, 105 kilograms down to 70 kilograms in just under 9 months. Congrats, Sydney. Congrats. I love that for you. Thank you all for being part of this journey. And I'm looking forward to maintenance. I'm looking forward to that part for you as well, Sydney. As long as you also remember that this journey doesn't end. I hope that as time continues, you keep letting us know about what maintenance looks like for you, how things are going, that you share with us the ups and downs on your journey as well. So, congrats to you, Sydney. I love that. I love that. 9 months. And now you're in this place where, and here's the thing about maintenance for myself, for other people I've coached and worked with who have reached maintenance. Usually, when people hit maintenance, that is where the real tweaking and optimization comes in. That's where, as long as you know you want to continue to be happy and healthy, many people who get to this point of maintenance, they realize, okay, I still want to tighten this up. I want to eat better here. Oh, I really want to add more muscle. Oh, I know I still have some extra body fat I could lose. Hey, I got my test results at the doctor and I noticed my blood sugar is still not where I want it to be. So I need to tighten up on that. So again, the journey never ends. The older we get, the harder things are to keep in check. And so for many of us, it's not even for many of us, it's for all of us. The journey never ends. It never ends. But Sydney, thank you for sharing. Congrats to you on hitting maintenance. I look forward to seeing what your journey looks like moving on. Thanks for uh, keeping us posted. So, Jade here says, been eating for 7 days straight, going on a week fast starting tomorrow on the 1st. I think many of you know where I'm going to go with this. Here in Manila, it's December 1st. For people out in the States or in Canada or out west, it is still the evening of November 30th, the last day of the month. How many of you are waiting for tomorrow? How many of you are waiting for the 1st of December to start? Are you restarting on the 1st of the month? Did you tell yourself, well, you know what? December 1st falls exactly on a Monday. So that's the perfect time to start. So, you know what? On Thanksgiving, on the day after Thanksgiving, on the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend, and on the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend, I'm just going to eat like shit for the next 4 days. I'm not even going to think about exercising. I'm not even going to think about anything at all except eating. There's a difference between these two things. Because for somebody to say, hey, I'm going to eat on Thanksgiving, and you know what? I might eat a little bit the day after as well, or I might be a little more lax for the weekend. And then there's a difference between that and saying, hey, it's Thanksgiving. I'm just going to eat whatever. I don't really give a shit about anything else. And I'm going to start on Monday. There's a stark difference between the two because one is a very all or nothing type behavior. The other is one where you tell yourself, yeah, it's going to be a harder weekend because I have family in town or I'm traveling and I know I'm probably going to be eating a little more, but I'm still going to put some effort in between the two. Now, I'm not trying to pick Jade out here in this regard, but when I talk about counterbalancing, when someone says, I ate for 7 days straight and now I'm going to fast for a week straight, sometimes that's where the all or nothing mentality becomes very strong because we eat awful for 7 days in a row and do nothing within those 7 days and then say, but you know what? On December 1st, I'm going to fast for an entire week and it's going to even itself out. And listen, that's definitely a thing that could happen. But I'll say this to you, Jade, is regardless of what happens these next 7 days, and I don't mean this to discourage you from doing a 7 day fast because I would love for you to get through it. And I would love for you to share with me and everyone here what your progress looks like. But at the same time, I hope that even if you don't make it through those 7 days, if it ends up being 5 days, if it ends up being 2 days, if it ends up being an 18-hour fast, that you can still hit your timer. You can refeed, maybe keep it cleaner because it's a shorter fast. And then you can go again and you can keep us posted. You can keep yourself accountable and you can share with the rest of the group. Because, and again, I don't mean to pick on you specifically, but sometimes when I don't see people who come here as often sharing their journey, sometimes I'll see people tell me they want to do a 30-day fast, a 2-week fast, a whatever that looks like. And then I don't hear from them again. And this is where I'm trying to have that teaching moment of listen, no matter what happens, there's no shame, there's no guilt, there's no embarrassment about it. Just be here, show up, and don't restart. Don't say, well, I only made it through December 3rd, so I'm just going to wait till Monday. You know what? Christmas is coming. I have too much to worry about right now, so I'm just going to start at the beginning of the year. I'm going to start on January 1st, 2026. Because when we have this kind of thought process, we just continue kicking the can down the road. Kicking the can down the road, worrying about it later, pushing it aside, forgetting about it. And I know what that's like because that's been me for such a long time. And in a lot of ways, those traits of me are still there. They're still very strong in what I do. And it's something that I'm continuously trying to work on myself to keep telling myself I can't behave this way because when I think in a very all or nothing type manner, it's that slippery slope that puts me in this place of, okay, I can only do it perfect and nothing else matters. So please, Jade, either way, keep us posted. Good luck to you on the 7 day. And so when you say you're starting tomorrow, does that mean that I don't know what time it is where you're at, but does it mean you're eating all the way until midnight and then you're going to start? I just want you to remember to continue working on your other weight loss levers if a 7 day fast does not come to fruition for you. Just know that even if you break early, you shouldn't feel guilty or shameful. Just means you hit your timer and you go again. Thanks for sharing with us. Cap Rising says, hi everyone, listening while packing for a short trip away. Hope you have fun on your trip, Cap Rising. Nice to see you. The writer says, thoroughly enjoyed eating whatever I wanted this long Thanksgiving weekend while using my levers. Appreciate you guys. And this is a really good way of saying exactly what I was sharing earlier. So the writers knew Thanksgiving was coming, probably ate more than maybe they expected or even knew they were going to be eating more just because it was a Thanksgiving weekend, but said, I still used my levers. And when I talk about levers, when people mention levers, what they mean is, okay, I might have eaten a lot more, but I also exercise. But I also still made some good choices every now and then. But I still made sure I got good sleep. It doesn't mean that because you have a long weekend or because it's Thanksgiving, it gives you free reign to just eat like shit and then say, what's the point of exercising then? What's the point of going to the gym and lifting weights? What's the point of good sleep? When in reality, all of these things are good. If you eat in excess, make use of those calories, take advantage of that time. So, very well said, the writers. Keep us posted. Angie says, hello, all. This is just what I needed. It's nice to see you, Angie. Welcome, welcome. Happy Bunny says, I get so excited when I catch your lives. It's day 65. I've been getting my head in the game, hyping myself up that I can reach my goals. I'm committing to walking 2 miles every day. And again, Happy Bunny, thank you for sharing with us. But as I read this, this is somebody who's talking more than just about fasting. This is somebody talking about using other weight loss levers on top of fasting. Yes, fasting will always be my foundation. Fasting is something that's always important for me. Fasting is something I'm currently doing after eating 2 days in a row. But something like saying, hey, I'm going to commit to walking 2 miles every day is a huge win. It's the same reason that even though fasting is a foundation for me, this morning when I woke up, I went for a walk. I walked for about an hour. I currently have around 8,000 steps in. It's only 10 a.m. right now. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get another 4,000 steps in a little later today. So keep us posted, Happy Bunny. Thank you for sharing with us. The writer says, dude, you're talking to us from the future. Vivian says, hello, Jerome. My first live stream since you moved. Vivian, where have you been? How have you been doing? What have you been up to? Keep us posted. Okay, let me scroll down here. Sleck says, goal of 300 pounds by the new year that I made at the end of October, and I was about 332 pounds since then. Got as low as 328 and as high as 350, now back at 330. Slack, I appreciate you sharing this. This is something that I know, just like with other people who have shared, is not the easiest thing to put out there. And I've seen a lot of progress with you, Slack, as well. You know that fasting works. You've proven it to yourself. You've done a lot to get experience under your belt. And so, if I were to ask you, what do you think the hardest thing is over this time? If I were to ask you what other levers that you should be using to help you get through this, because I just want to make sure that you aren't in this all or nothing mindset. And I have a feeling that you aren't. I think maybe, if anything, maybe it's a harder thing when it comes to the refeeds or keeping control with that. I just hope that you aren't feeling discouraged, that you know that it's just about putting in the effort, working on your other levers, and finding a game plan that works for you. So please keep us posted, Slack. I mean, I still see a lot of wins here, especially with what you've been doing. And I think the one thing that sometimes we forget about too is maintaining weight or keeping weight stable can still be such a big win. I know some people don't want to see it that way because we just want to see ourselves lose the weight immediately and get there. But for many of us, you aren't going to create good habits if you can't accept the fact that sometimes you will plateau, and that if you do plateau, you should be working on other things that are equally as important than just dropping weight on the scale. So keep us posted, Slag. Keep us posted. Ray Questo says, "How was your Thanksgiving?" I mean, people in the Philippines don't celebrate Thanksgiving. My small family that's out here doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, so I spent that day using this induction plate here, and I made myself a huge pot of shrimp with veggies kind of stew deal. And then I ate a whole package of digestive cookies. That was my Thanksgiving. But I've had a lot of other family get togethers since then. So, in a way, it's like I'm having Thanksgiving just on different days. But we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving here. I just spent it here by myself. But it's okay. It's okay. I appreciate you asking, Ray Questo. Aaron says Thanksgiving on a 7-day cruise. Hopefully that was fun, Aaron. It went the way it went. I don't even know how to. I should start saying that. Oh, yeah, I had a great weekend. It went the way it went. No regrets. I'm glad you had no regrets. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Now back to the regular routine, fasting forever. And that's what I mean. Sometimes it's not so much about what happens during Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving and the day after, but what happens or what's more important is what happens after. How do you pick yourself back up? How do you keep pushing forward? How do you move on to getting back to that healthy and happy routine? Thanks for sharing with us, Aaron. Thanks, all. I'm just reading the comments now about the the barbell stuff. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So, um, it was completely unexpected. I don't even know how it happened, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. This is, and I'm sure there are other people who can um, relate to this as well. BMJ says, I've been studying for an exam for work and so terrified about it. This is how I feel sometimes when I have deadlines for work and I feel overwhelmed. And a lot of times I will either turn to food or I turn into procrastination, which is really interesting. When I have a deadline sometimes and I feel overwhelmed, instead of just attacking it, I'll get on this bed and I'll put the sheet over me and I'll doom scroll on my phone to try to forget about it, which is such an ineffective way of getting shit done. But sometimes I look at that and I tell myself, well, that's at least better than just eating your feelings. It's still not the best to just push away the problem and procrastinate, but I know at least I'm aware of it and it's something that I have to continue working on. So thank you for sharing with us, BMJ. Angie says, I'm locked into a month of 6 ones for December. 6 days of fasting, 1 day of eating. Additional days I'm eating are on the 2nd, the 24th, and the 26th. Only eating 7 days in December. Hi, Angie. I know you and I have to talk. I have to talk to you about rescheduling some of our sessions, but also at the same time, Angie, I hope you know too that whatever happens this month, even if this doesn't go according to plan, that you take all the advice that we've talked about and you continue working on yourself. But we'll have to catch up with that because that's a really big goal is to do 6 ones. If anyone's wondering what I mean by 6 ones or what Angie means by 6 ones, it's pretty much 6 days of fasting. Well, Angie said it there, 1 day of eating, and then some other days here where Angie has provided other eating days. So keep us posted, Angie. Let us know how that goes for you. But I'm sure you and I will have to catch up as well. So thank you for sharing with us. Angela says, Drum, I did a 4-day dry fast last week, and the 4-day my blood pressure went sky high. Is that supposed to happen? I started alternating instead and it went down. Angela, I don't really know. I don't dry fast for that type of length or for that long. If there are other people here who have dry fasted in that regard, please feel free to share. Having your high blood pressure go that high is not good in general, regardless of what you're doing. So, if anything, maybe some of the learning moments here is figuring out why it's doing that. And I don't know what the correlation of dry fasting and having your your blood pressure shoot up like that. I don't really know. I just know that for me, I don't ever want my blood pressure just shooting up in that way. So if you find anything out, I would love to know. So please keep me posted, Angela. Thank you for sharing. I mean, congrats on getting a good fast under your belt, but also remember, if something like that is happening, it's definitely maybe not the direction to keep going until maybe you figure out why that might be happening. And if anyone in chat has any advice, please feel free to share because I will read this later and I would love to hear what other people might think when it comes to this. Hi, Carnivorous Teacher. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Tanya. Welcome. The Indifference says, I'm more of a 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. eater with light exercises or with light exercise. As long as you're active and are protein heavy, it's effective. And that's a really effective piece of advice, or just a really good piece of advice with a lot of, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I can see how effective that could be because if you're eating between 12 to 5, that's usually when you're most active during the day. And doing light exercise, eating in a very small window, keeping protein prioritized, which is something I talk about a lot. These are all great things. I wish I could just eat from 12 to 5, but it's very hard for me, especially later in the evening. That's when I get the hungriest, which is why for me, I push my refeeds a little later, but this is still great advice for people who are able to do that during that time frame. A says, in the past 2 days since my very enjoyable Thanksgiving dinner, I've done 2 18-hour fasts and strength training to use up some of the excess sugar. And again, this is what I'm talking about, using calories to your advantage. Just because you overeat on a day doesn't mean that the rest of the day is shot. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't take care of yourself. All it means is if you ate a little extra, take advantage of those calories. You might as well, right? Why wouldn't you? That's something that I try to do. So thank you for sharing with us, A. This peaceful one says, I'm averaging 12,000 steps daily and doing workouts. I mean, so even as Miss Peaceful One is talking about being up on the scale, using those calories, I'm assuming, right? Things have been, if you've been eating more in that way because the weight's been going up, still making use of that. And even saying, I'm currently lifting weights while watching this. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let me scroll down here. The coconut says, hey, Jerome, I hope you didn't get offended when I said my comments about the Filipinas. I didn't get offended. Like I said, you do you. The thing that I struggle with is realizing how focused my life has been on activities that revolve around food, like waking up and going to a cafe or a bar in the evening. This is something that I'm guilty of as well. So, this is a question for anyone who's in here right now. How many of you just love that activity? This is something I used to do a long time ago as well. I used to get up in the morning, and this is when I think I got laid off from my corporate job. I would wake up in the morning, I would walk to a coffee shop, and I would order a coffee with probably cream in it and sugar, or I would do that and I would order a croissant or a bagel with cream cheese, and it was just a nice way to start the morning. I remember those days, and even as I think about that today, I'm like, "Oh, that would be nice." But I also know it's not good for me. And I mean, for the coconut to even say, like, going to a bar in the evening, it's a good way for people to wind down. But I also know that sometimes days like that can become a very bad habit because, sure enough, waking up to go get coffee and drinking a sweet drink and having a bagel with cream cheese, you can't do that every day without eventually gaining weight, which is why I don't do it. Which is why for me, it's just a black coffee or a black iced coffee or an unsweetened iced tea. So that's tough. I get that. I get that. It's definitely a struggle. Definitely a struggle. Grammar Doc says, "Can't believe I caught you live. Nice to see you here, Grammar Doc. Welcome, welcome." Spike says, "Jerome." Hi, Spike. "How's the new crib? I'm fixing to do a fast till Friday. Started at 6:30 p.m. Let's go. Let's go, Spike. Keep me posted. Spike, it's nice to see you. My place is good. I told people that my bed is messy right now. I'm trying to aim right. I forgot to clean it up, but today's a messy live stream. So it kind of works out. It kind of works out. Spike, keep us posted on your fast. Let us know how that goes. Look forward to hearing from you on how that goes. So nice to have you here, Spike. Welcome, welcome. Lou says, "Kabayan Jerome, have you been in the malls here in Metro Manila? Mabuhay ka." I have, of course I have. How could I not? They're everywhere, Lou. They're everywhere. And it's a way to stay cool when it's like 90 degrees out. Spike says, "Jerome, what time is it by you when you want to watch the Bears play at noon?" That's the thing is I pretty much so okay. It's 10:25 in the morning here right now. It's 8:25 p.m. there. So, and honestly, I have not caught a game since I've been here. So 12 p.m. in Chicago would then be um, 12 p.m. in Chicago would be 2 a.m. here, 2 a.m. here in Manila. So most likely I'm sleeping at that time. So it isn't happening. It isn't happening. But if I'm being honest, I haven't even had time to kind of just feel settled. There's still a lot happening here. So I haven't even thought about it if I'm being honest with you. But doesn't mean that I don't root for the Bears because I always am. Okay, let me scroll down here. Thanks, Spike, for sharing the blood pressure thing here. And Miss Peaceful One for doing that as well. Many of you who are sharing that. Thanks, thanks. Tara says, "So glad I was able to catch one of your live streams after your move. It's nice to see you here, Tara. It's really nice to see you and your live streams streaming again. Appreciate that. Thank you for being here." I know, a Bears are balling right now. It's nice to finally see the Bears have some positive momentum. We'll just see how that goes moving on. Deja just dropped a $10 super chat. Deja with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much for your support. Deja says, "Feel bad because I feel like I destroyed months of sugar detoxing. Ever since I started fasting less, things are weird. I'm down a pant size this month, but weight stayed the same, so that's good, I guess." Okay, so first of all, Deja, thank you for the $10 super chat. You know I always appreciate your support. Thank you so much. So, okay, you feel bad because you feel like you destroyed months of sugar detoxing. Ever since you started fasting less, things are weird. I wouldn't beat yourself up saying that you destroyed months of detoxing yourself from sugar. Is that what you're saying? Because the way I look at this is, okay, but maybe what it means is, I get it. Sometimes we want to completely rid ourselves of sugar anything or processed anything. I get that. I totally understand that. If it was up to me, if I was a stronger person, I would stay away from a lot of processed foods. I would not go for that if I was a stronger person in that way. At the same time, I want you to remember that, okay, yeah, maybe you have sugar detox in the past, but also since then, have you gotten better control of the way you eat? Have you learned to find a little balance in the way you eat? And maybe that answer isn't a complete yes. Maybe you're telling yourself, but Jerome, it's just a problem. I just cannot control myself. But I don't know if I'm getting that. I really do want you to think about a life where maybe it's okay to have some balance every now and then, where maybe you have something and it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, you say it's weird that you're down a pant size this month, but the weight stayed the same. I want you to remember, this is why I tell people this is more than just fasting. When you start applying things like thinking about your body composition, thinking about adding muscle, thinking about changing your habits, you are changing the mental part of you. You are changing the physical part of you. You aren't just relying on fast, 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 eat this way and only this way. You're learning how to control parts of your life that maybe you haven't before. It's not always going to be easy. Sometimes it'll get messy, just like my life currently is at the moment. But I also know that as messy as things are, or could be, or are feeling right now, is my version of messy today is a lot different of my version of messy a couple years ago. Because old Jerome wouldn't even have gone for a walk this morning. Old Jerome wouldn't have lifted weights yesterday. Old Jerome wouldn't have said, no, I don't think I'm going to eat another one of that dessert because I already ate a lot today. I'm actually feeling a little full. So I guess I say this because when I read this, sometimes I get the impression that there's an all or nothing type deal there. I did this. I feel awful because this is what I used to do. But listen, we're not perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Anyone in here is not perfect. We're humans. We do things that are going to throw us off every now and then. And I think it's more about how we face that, how we deal with that in the future. That's how we grow. Because sometimes when we think in a very black and white mentality, at least for me, it's very detrimental. Because even if I were to think about my past and be like, oh God, when I did my 90-hour fasts, I lost the weight so quick and I could just do that now and I'll be. But I also know that thinking in that behavior is just not the right way because I know that there's still a lot of change and growth that I need to do in myself. So I wouldn't look at it so black and white. I would say, hey, you're learning, you're growing from this. There's a lot of positives. And for you, you're like, it's weird. And I guess it's a good thing. When it's like, no, it's not weird. It's a great thing. You're learning so much. You're doing something different that you haven't done before. And I look at that as a huge win. So don't ever look at that as, I guess it's a good thing. No, it's a great thing. You're changing your body composition. You're doing things for yourself where you're like, hey, I don't have to be as strict. I don't have to. And I'm not saying that you can't sugar detox. I'm not saying that you should never have sugar or that you can't eat super clean. You can do all those things. But I would just say don't beat yourself up when you have a moment every now and then where You could actually eat something that maybe isn't the best for you and be like, hey, I can control this. It's a good mental relief and I can keep pushing forward because that's a big win. But thank you for sharing with us, Deja. And thank you again for the $10 donation. I appreciate the support. Eric says, Jerome, do you like street photography? I do. I do very much. Well, let me just read the rest of this. My partner did a course in Vietnam and loved it. It might be a good way to get back into a groove if you aren't too busy with work plus steps. I mean, have you seen my street photography, Eric? I don't know if you've ever seen it. I have a well, I haven't updated my portfolio in a minute, but I think you know, maybe not. I don't know if other people know this. I am a professional photographer. I haven't done any photography work in a well, I did photography work in September. I did a professional event in September. But outside of that, I haven't been doing a lot since. But I love street photography. It's my favorite thing to do. I used to go to New York every year just to spend time to shoot. Um, and I do it all around Chicago. So I would love to do it here too. I just my priorities have changed over time, so I don't even know if that's going to be a thing. But that's still a great hobby that I could look into. Okay, let's go into nerd stats, everyone. I haven't done nerd stats in a while, and I don't have a ton of nerd stats here, but I want to at least give you a little glimpse of my life over the last 2.5 weeks since I've moved here from Manila. Today is Monday, December 1st. It's the beginning of the month. I have new goals set for the month of December, but I'm going to play a little of this by ear. Today is day 757 of my journey. Has it been the most perfect 757 days? You already know the answer to that. You know that in the last 2+ years, there have been ups and downs. There was a moment where I lost 80 pounds in less than 5 months. There were moments where I would gain 20 pounds in 6 days. But nowhere on this journey did I completely give up and walk away from this. Nowhere on this journey did I tell myself tomorrow is day one. Nowhere did I tell myself, hey, this isn't worth it. I don't want to do this anymore. In fact, over the last 2+ years, I have learned to get better at what I'm doing. I have grown from my fasting routine. I have grown from the way I have eaten. I have grown even just being in really overstressed moments of moving out of my apartment, of making a decision to move out of the country. I have learned to deal with unexpected moments. I've learned to not just give up completely, wait till Monday. And this is what I mean about continuing your journey day in and day out. 757 days in, I mean, I think many of us wish we could just have it be perfect. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard people say this to me, but even I've thought the same thing is I wish that I could just be left alone for the next 3 months or whatever, be on a deserted island. No one would bother me. And think about that scenario just for a second. Think about if tomorrow you woke up on December 1st for some of you. Imagine if you just woke up and you were on a deserted island and you didn't have to worry about money or anything like that, and you had 3 months to take care of yourself. I know people think about this. If someone would just leave me alone and I could just be by myself with no distractions, I would lose this weight and I would X, Y, and Z. And while that sounds lovely for many of us to imagine, and the thought of doing it and saying, I would love that because then 3 months, I come back, I'm going to be X amount of pounds, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God. But you know what? That's not reality because even though you could do that, and yes, maybe you'd lose weight and you'd get in better shape, you haven't practiced what life is really like outside of that. You haven't practiced when you've lost all that weight and someone's like, hey, Jerome, are you doing anything today? Let's go grab drinks. Hey, Jerome, did you forget about that party that's happening? Hey, Jerome, that's life experience. That's shit that you should be learning today, every single day. Hey, Jerome, it's Thanksgiving. Hey, Jerome, it's Christmas. Hey, Jerome, your birthday's in 2 days. Do you want to go? Do you want to go grab breakfast? That's life. You have to deal with those moments. You have to fight and grow and learn to eat better and learn to still fast even when you don't want to and learn to be in discomfort and learn to give yourself grace. Not every day is going to be perfect, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll keep pushing this forever because that is how I learn. That's how I get better. I mean, look at this. I have pretty much kept myself, despite everything that's happened, I've pretty much kept myself in the same weight range now for over 2 years. And that isn't through accident. That's through work every single day. That's through work. Think about all the shit that's happened in my life. Every day I fight through it. Every day I put what I can into practice. It takes time. So these nerd stats are going to be very short. I'm just going to talk to you about what the last 2.5 weeks have been for me. It's just, I didn't even notice. Spike said desert island. He's so stupid. That's so funny. The last 18 days, this is starting on the 13th of November before or up until yesterday. Um, I didn't move to Manila until the 15th of November, but I put the 13th of November because I had farewell dinners. A lot of people were taking me out to say goodbye because they aren't going to see me for a while. In the last 18 days, in the last 2.5 weeks, I've had a really bad case of jet lag. I'll tell you this. Today, last night, the night before, and the night before that, 3 days in a row now, I've slept at night. And I know that sounds like, well, yeah, of course you would sleep at night. But in the last 2 weeks before that, there were days I was up for 30 hours. There were days where I slept an hour. My jet lag was awful. So the last 3 days sleeping at night, like completely just knocking out in bed, has shown me that like my body's back into a rhythm. I feel a lot better because I'm a lot more in control with where I'm at. So that's a huge plus right now, at least. But that was something that I've been dealing with for the last 2.5 weeks. Since then, I have been to family parties, been to get togethers, meeting up with people, and there have been a lot of overeating days, especially yesterday and the other day, 2 days before that. So yesterday was really bad. Yesterday, I had a family party to go to, but before that family party, instead of just waiting to eat there, I woke up in the morning and I had one of these. I just funny, it's next to me on my bench. Do you see these bananas? These are different. Um, I mean, maybe they have them in the States, but I don't think I've seen them. Maybe they import them. I think these are called latundas, if I'm remembering correctly. There's a different kind of banana that I've been eating though that are called a lakatan, which is different than the ones we have in the States, called a Cavendish. And those lakatan ones are really good. These are pretty good too. I'm gonna wait for these to maybe ripen a little bit more, but these are like smaller dessert ones. But the lakatans, those are the good ones. Anyway, yesterday morning, I woke up, I started eating some of the bananas. And then I started eating some of the snacks, Filipino snacks I had. And then what did I eat after? I went to the mall and I ended up eating, oh, I had chicken in asal. I had like this Filipino chicken dish. I had some lechon kawali. And then somebody bought dessert, so I was eating some baked goods desserts. And then I went to a family party. And during that family party, oh my goodness, I ate so much at that family party. And then even after the family party, when I got back here, I ended up going to Jollibee's. I got some fried chicken, I got some spaghetti, I got some rice, and it was just a really, really big overeating day. Probably one of the biggest overeating days I've had in a long time. But I still fasted where I could. I still walked when I could. I still lifted when I could. In the last 18 days, my average fasting time has been very low, just about 25 hours. And that's because it's just been a mix of back to back eating days and then some days when I'm doing ADF. My average refeed is super long, currently at 10 hours over the last 18 days. So I'm going to show you here what this looks like in terms of my weight, just so you understand where my weight has gone. Before I left for the Philippines, I was hitting the 130s consistently hitting the 130s. At my lowest, I hit 135 point something shortly before I left. But you'll see 44-hour fast, 31-hour fast, and then you'll see where it shows NA. That's because I was in the air. I wasn't even thinking about stepping on the scale. Had a 12-hour fast, a 29-hour fast, a 12-hour fast, a 43-hour fast, and my weight was hovering somewhere in the low 140s. Now, as we talk about this last week, you'll see I'm still hitting the 130s where I could, but you'll also notice there are a lot of 140s creeping their way back in. The weight is pushing itself up because I have not been on a regular routine. So instead of consistently hitting the 130s, now I'm starting to push back up into the 140s. So yesterday, I weighed 144.6. I only had an 8-hour fast. And like I said, I ate all day yesterday. I ate in the morning, I ate at lunch, and I ate at the family party. And then I ate last night before I went to bed. And if you see here, today, December 1st, I weighed 149.6. This is the highest weight I've been since, when was the last time I weighed anywhere close to 149.6? If I'm looking at this right, it was, wow, that's been a while since I've weighed that much. The last time I weighed anywhere close to this weight was on October 5th. So almost 2 months ago, I was 149.4. Now, I also know that that 149.6 that I weighed this morning isn't going to last. I know that when I step on the scale tomorrow, that weight will drop down. But I know that I am sticking into the 140s because I've really been overdoing it the last couple of days. So let me talk to you about what my plan looks like moving on for the rest of December. Initially, my plan was just to do ADF, just keep pushing ADF for the month of December. And that's still kind of where my head is at right now. But like I said, my uncle wants to take me out on my birthday, which is in 2 days. And on December 3rd, on my birthday, I told myself, okay, I'm fasting all day today, Monday, and then I'm fasting all day again on Tuesday. So I'm going to fast all day on the first and all day on the second because I'm breaking in the morning on the third anyway. And then I'll just probably eat the whole day on my birthday. And then after that, I'm just going to throw myself back into an ADF until another family thing happens or whatever. But my goal is to really now, for the month of December, to at least just put one day of fasting in between until I get myself back into like a consistent 130s. That's what I want to see myself in. So that's kind of the plan right now. I will polish this plan as time goes on, but for now, I said, Jerome, just put a day in between, except for these first 2 days. I'm fasting all day today and all day tomorrow because I'm breaking on Wednesday in the morning when I go out for breakfast with my uncle. Eric just became part of the Finally Fasting fam. I can't remember, Eric. Have you been part of the Finally Fasting fam before? I'm not exactly sure. I feel like you have, maybe not. But whichever tier that you joined, if you joined OMAD or the autophagy group, I appreciate your support. Can we throw some F's up for Eric? I don't have my F notebooks over there, but can we throw some custom emoji up for Eric? Either the clock or whatever custom emoji I might have up there. Eric, thank you for being part of the Finally Fasting fam. If you joined the higher tier group, the Wednesday group, then you can catch all of those live streams. You'll see other people chat on there as well. It's a different type of live stream that I do, so I appreciate the support. Thank you so much, Eric. I'm trying to remember where I'm at. My plan. So my plan for December is to just not put back-to-back eating days, to find myself back around the 130s, and to just make sure I get my steps in and I continue lifting. This month should be easier because now that I feel settled, now that the jet lag is gone, now that there aren't probably going to be as many family parties because it's like, okay, Jerome's here now. I think things will be a little more normal. I really want to get back into my coaching sessions. I need to finish reaching out to people who I have to coach or continue coaching. I know this month people have already been signing up for new coaching sessions. So there's a lot happening. And so I really want to get myself back into a regular rhythm, a regular routine. And I honestly think that's it. It sucks being 149.6. I have not hit over 145 pounds in a while. It's been a while. But this month for November has still been one of the most stable weight places for me, despite everything that's happened. I feel like I've controlled the craziness of November a lot different than I would have in the past. And so I look at that as a win. Even though my weight's gone up, I still look at that as a win because I know for the month of December, if I can get myself back into the 130s on a regular basis, I should be okay. And then I can start figuring out, because remember, my plan isn't so much about the weight. It's more about making sure that on my next DEXA scan, my body fat percentage continues to drop. Because just as a refresher, after being probably 40% body fat on day one, after 1 year, I was 20% body fat. And then November 6th of last month, when I had my DEXA scan, it went from 20% down to 17.5%. So my goal for year number 3 is to get myself at 15% body fat. That's my goal. So I have a lot of work to do. I can't just keep eating hopia and dinuguan. I'm just naming Filipino dishes that I've been eating lately, because I know that's not going to help lose the excess body fat. In fact, that will probably just contribute to more over that time. So that is pretty much where I'm at when it comes to nerd stats. I want to take a second and talk about yesterday. So yesterday I was at the gym and At the gym yesterday, I was doing bench press, and um, the gym I'm going to is just a gym in this building where I live at, and they have a Smith machine. So if you're not familiar with the Smith machine, it's one of those machines that's actually made for safety, where when you push the bars up, you have to like lock it into a notch, and then that notch locks it so then the bar will not move. So yesterday I was doing bench press on the Smith machine, and I had locked the bar, or at least I thought I did. And as I got up, as I was like sitting up from the bench, and I had about 45 kilos, so I had about 100 pounds. I had just started my set. And as I was getting up, the bar came down and the bar hit me on the top of my head, like not kind of like the middle back of my head. And the bar slid down and it pushed my neck down. Um, and I didn't know what the hell happened. I was so thrown off. Um, and right away, I was like, I could feel the pain in my neck. I've never had anything like that happen. I also never use a Smith machine. I'm so used to just using free weights. I don't know how it came off. Maybe I didn't latch it the whole way or whatever. Anyway, it sucked because later after I did that set, I was like, I don't know what happened. I was like testing my like motor balance or, my motor skills, and I was fine. I was just in pain. The writers asked, was I alone? I was. Nobody was in there. No one was in the gym. So it was just me in there. And like, I don't know. I keep trying to recreate how, because think about it, right? When you push on a Smith machine, when it locks, right? If it didn't lock, that would come back down on me as I'm laying down doing bench press. So it was locked. I must have either hit the bar or something. I don't know. But like as I got up from the bench, it hit me on the top of the head and like pushed my neck down because it was literally 100 pounds then pushing on the back of my head. Um, and today I'm really feeling it. Like I'm so sore today. And hopefully in the next couple of days, it'll be better. Um, I did ask myself, should I go to ER? Should I make sure that it's not like internal bleeding or whatever? And I don't know if I'm just being stubborn because I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Like I didn't have a headache. I didn't pass out. I didn't have a concussion. Well, I mean, I don't know, but I didn't pass out or anything like that. I didn't black out. I just was like, what the fuck? And honestly, I still finished working out that day because I just started. I literally just did my first set. Um, and then I worked out and then I went about my day. I went to see family. I hung out. I got Jollibee at night. And it's been a little 24 hours since. I went for a walk this morning. I'm taking a break from the gym today, and I'm taking a break from the gym tomorrow. So I've just never had that happen. I have no idea how that happened. Spike says just the weight of the bar can pull and flex those hooks back up and out. Yeah, I don't like using Smith machines. I never use them, but like I was going to sign up for a gym here. I just haven't done it yet. I was like, well, there's this gym here, so I'm just going to use it. And like, I typically don't use Smith machines because even in the States, I was just going to Planet Fitness and they only have Smith machines, but I don't really use it. I just end up using dumbbells. Just yesterday, I guess for the heck of using something different, I just wanted to do something different. So I did it. And if you've never had 100 pounds hit you on the top of the head, avoid it. Be very careful when you're at the gym. So yes, today I'm very sore. Like I can move my neck up and down, but not without pain. There's pain like at the bottom of like my neck and the top of my back when I do it. Like even turning from the left and right, it feels a little off, but it hurts worse when I look up and especially down. Um, Spike says Sue Smith machine. He'll be a millionaire. Miss Peaceful. Miss Peaceful says, it's funny, Jerome. I think you called your mom stubborn. I know. I know. Tigas ng ulo ako, or tigas ng ulo ko. I'm hard-headed is what I'm saying. I know. I feel okay. I told myself if I started having headaches, if anything got worse, I would immediately go to the hospital. But other than being sore, like I haven't had anything worse happen. So I'm guessing I'm okay. I don't know. But I just thought I would share that because it's a really weird moment. And I don't think I'm going to be using that Smith machine for a while. I'll probably sign up for a gym. I'll probably sign up for a gym soon. There's a gym not too far away from here. So, okay, everyone, that's pretty much it in terms of nerd stats. So, I'm just seeing the other comments here. Miss Solon says you can still go to the ER. I know. I want to do fit check, everyone. I want to do fit check, but I don't want to do fit check. I'm like really up in weight. I'm very, very bloated today. I'm still wearing a small shirt, one of my smaller shirts. So my shirt's still kind of fit. I'm just very, very bloated at the moment. But I know it's important to do fit check. I really think that it's a way that I can be accountable and transparent with what I'm doing. And I know I haven't done this in a minute, but just to remind all of you, I have been overweight my entire life. As a child, in my kindergarten picture here, in my adolescent years, in my teenage cringy years, in my 20s, in my 30s, and even in my 40s. I have been overweight, obese, morbidly obese. I used to weigh at my most heaviest 235 pounds. And while that might not seem like a huge number to some people, I was 235 pounds at 5'3". And now I weigh somewhere around, well, except for today, I'm usually somewhere in the high 130s to low 140s. Today I'm 149.6. My guess is tomorrow I'll be in the mid 140s. And hopefully the day after that, I'll be somewhere around the low 140s. We'll see. I share all those photos because it's not like I just gained all of this weight recently. I've been like this my entire life, but I have also lost all this weight now and kept it off for 2 years naturally, even though I used to be like this my entire life, just through fasting and working on good, healthy habits, working on my eating, working on my exercise, working on making better choices, working on my fasting. So we'll do fit check. God, I really don't want to do it because I'm so bloated right now, but whatever. Okay, so this is the front shot here. I am wearing a boy's extra large shirt, so it is a small shirt. It's a very form-fitting shirt. I have other shirts that are form-fitting. I am kind of wearing black today to kind of hold this extra fat that I put on, or this extra bloat that's on. Rear shot, man, my neck is like really sucks. And then side shot here. So, I mean, here's the thing. It's like, even though I feel bloated, I know lately I've really been pushing hard at the gym. I know that like I've been even on like my arms and legs, they're a lot more vascular than where they used to be. Although today my arms aren't as vascular. I know I'm holding a lot of water weight. But I definitely have, like, if I were to stick my stomach out, that's like, I mean, I guess it's not as bad as it used to be, but this is me sticking my stomach out. So I know it's not bad. And you know what? Like the interesting thing about it is this also proves to me that even though the last 2.5 weeks have been crazy and I've been eating a ton, because I have been taking care of myself and doing so many good things for myself, like working out and walking and lifting weights, that I feel like even as I've been overeating, I'm really minimizing the damage. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about minimizing the damage is you're doing other good things for yourself so that when you eat, right? When you overeat, because you know before when I would eat this much, I couldn't even wear a shirt like this because I would be, I just, I guess my body composition has changed over time, which is why like I can fit in these smaller shirts even after bad eating days because the weight on the scale is probably, even though it's similar from before, my body composition is a lot different. There's more muscle, there's less fat, and it shows. And I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. But it's also a reminder that I can't just keep eating Jollibee or going to get Filipino food every day because I do that long enough and I will no longer be able to fit into these clothes. So um, that's pretty much fit check for the day. Um, okay, I'm not getting jacked. Thank you all for the kind words. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And you know, and here's the thing too. Like even with what Tara says here, it's good that you still weigh yourself even after overeating. There have been a couple days this week where I didn't want to step on the scale because that's how my old mentality gets, especially when I eat a lot, especially when I eat back to back days. I don't want to step on the scale because I'm just like, maybe I don't have to. Maybe let's just forget about it. But I know that the moment I do that, it's such a, it's like I lose complete accountability. If I don't step on the scale because I don't want to see what the number says because I overate, that's literally me putting the covers over my head or hiding in my bedroom, right? And saying, I don't want to be out there to the world. I might as well not live stream, you know, in that type of way. And so, like, this is why I do these things because the moment I do see that number on the scale, like today when I saw 149.6, I'm like, oh my God, Jerome. Like, okay, it's time to take a break. You've literally been eating. I don't even know how many calories I ate yesterday. Easily over 15,000 is my guess because I ate 3 times yesterday. I ate a lot. When I went to the family party yesterday, oh my God, that family party, there was so much food. And like, of course, one of the desserts was like right in front of me. And I kept grabbing my fork. I'm like, okay, I'll get a little more, get a little more, get a little more. And then even when I came home, when I came back yesterday, I was like, maybe I'll walk over to Jollibee's. And then I did. And then I ended up getting, like I said, fried chicken. I got 2 plates of spaghetti. I had rice. I ate gravy with the fried chicken. I had, I mean, I'm sitting here right now. I have like this small candy bar that my pinsan, my cousin gave me. I haven't eaten it, but it's like a Milky Way bar. That's but yesterday I was eating a bunch of snacks even after Jollibees. I was eating way too much. I'm surprised I didn't eat this candy bar. Actually, this is proof. This is proof, everyone, of how I've changed over time. So let me share with you what I mean by proof, right? Is old Jerome would have said, well, you might as well eat everything in front of you. You might as well eat everything in front of you. Why leave this candy bar because you're going to start tomorrow anyway? And you see, I didn't eat it. Why? Because yesterday, after I ate all of that extra food I bought at Jollibee's, even though it wasn't what I should have been doing, I didn't just say, eat everything that's in front of me because I didn't eat the rest of these bananas that are here. You're all probably wondering, why does Jerome just have food all around him? Because I usually will sit here and eat while I'm watching something. I guess what I'm trying to say is last night after I finished eating, I was like, I'm full. I'm done. I'm good. I don't have to eat more. I don't have to eat all the bananas that are here. I don't have to eat this candy because old Jerome would have done it. Old Jerome would have eaten anything in front of him, even if he was completely full. That's how my binging brain would be. This is a very new way for me to do things. Yes, did I overeat? Of course. Should I have eaten that late after already eating 2 times before that? No, I was perfectly fine. Yes, it's still an issue, but I know the issue isn't as bad as it is before because I have learned to put habits under my belt. I feel so weird now, just like randomly showing you snacks in front of me. Although I think that's the only other snack I had. I do have some snacks over there, but I didn't eat those either. Um, Okay. So I think that's all I have to share. Um, I will take some time to answer Q&A. I'll scroll up a little bit and read any other comments I might have missed. But if I missed a question or if I missed something that you wanted to share specifically, share it now. I'm happy to answer what I can. I'm happy to talk to all of you who are here right now. In the meantime, while you might be asking something or mentioning anything, if you are looking for additional help when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one on one session with me. My schedule is open at this time, although the time frames, I have not adjusted that yet. I will get to that though. But there are times available right now. It's just, it might be a little different because I'm in Manila and you might be in the States, but I will open up more time a little later. I'll let you know when that happens. But if you're looking for accountability, if you want to put a game plan and a strategy together, if you need more help outside of what I am trying to help you all with here, check out the site. I'm happy to lend any advice that I can. I'm happy to be your accountability partner if that's something that might be useful for you. Finallyfasting.com. At the same time, if you want to help me in a different way, if you want to support me in a different way, you can go to the link in the description of this live stream, or you can click the join button on YouTube and be part of the Finally Fasting fam. What is that? That is where you can, why am I forgetting my words? I haven't done it in a minute. You can you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. It's just a way to support me. If you do, you'll see people in chat. They have a different color in their name. They have a little F emoji next to their name, a little icon. That's just a perk of being part of the Finally Fasting fam. You get to use customized emoji. And if you join our higher tier group, you can jump on camera. Other people have been doing it. And we have Wednesday group live streams. They've been really great lately. I love when people jump on and it's not just me on camera. And it's a really great group of people helping each other out, supporting each other, cheering each other on. So if that's something that you might be interested in, please feel free to take a look at that. And that is my shameless plug for the day. Let me scroll back up here. Let me just see if there's anything I might have missed or anything to point out. Okay, I'm not going to scroll that far up, but let me just see here. Brent says, I'm 6 days into my 2 week fast, feeling great. I started at 140 down to 135. That's great, Brent. Brent, where are you trying to get to? Maybe I'm wondering too, like the 2 week fast, was this just out of the blue? Was it because it was, I mean, it looks like you fasted throughout Thanksgiving. So I'm wondering what the thought process is with this and then what the plan is after that. And also remember, if the 2 week fast doesn't happen, keep us posted anyway. No shame, no embarrassment, no judgment. If anything, it just means you hit your timer, you go again, whatever that looks like. Keep us posted, Brent. Thank you for sharing with us. Eric asks, How old will you be turning on the 3rd? 44 or 45? I'll be 45. I'll be 45. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty much 45. I already tell people I'm 45 at this point. Happy Bunny, that's what I'm hoping for as well. I do think my body composition is a lot different than where it used to be, even at the current weight I'm at right now. Deja asks, Jerome, have you ever destroyed food so you don't eat it during a binge? Yeah. Uh, Let me kind of add on. Well, let me read the rest of your question here because um, the way I look at this is, well, I have more to add on it. So, like pouring soap on it, for example, I've done that so many times to stop binging, and it always made me sad. It came to that. So, yes, I have. But before, is this Eric? I think it's Eric. Eric with a 45 Australian super chat. Eric, thank you for the huge, huge donation. Thank you so much. Eric says, happy birthday early if you don't stream on the 3rd. I do plan on streaming on the 3rd, but I think I'm going to be streaming in the evening since you're in Australia. I'll be streaming in the evening, which will be in the morning in the West, because I think I'm going to have a full day out on my birthday. But Eric, thank you so much for the huge supportive donation. Or I might be streaming the next day after, which would be my birthday in the States. So either way, I will be streaming sometime then. But thank you for the early birthday donation. I appreciate that so much, Eric. Thank you so much for Eric's always dropping huge donations as well. So thank you, Eric. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the early birthday, I guess, gift, if you will. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, Let me get back up here to, where did I go now? I already missed my, or lost my place. It was Deja, right? Yeah. So, okay, let's kind of like break this down. So Deja asks, have you ever destroyed food so you don't eat it during a binge? I have. I've done the same. I actually haven't poured soap on it, but I've poured like condiments or something that I wouldn't eat. Or I would like, what I would do is I would take the food and open it up and I would throw it in the garbage so that it would touch the other garbage. Because sometimes, and as gross as, listen, my binge days were just awful. And sometimes I would throw stuff in the garbage and I would still eat out of it because I didn't want the binge to end. Even though I'd be like, okay, you're done. You're not going to do it. Sometimes I'd wake up the next day on the day I was supposed to start and I would eat out of it. I wasn't I wouldn't eat the food that touched the garbage, but like if it was still in its container or whatever, I would open it and eat it. I mean, that's what I used to do. So yeah, I've been there. Like that's how bad it would get sometimes. Um, I've done that so many times to stop binging, and it always made me sad it came to that. I don't know if it would, I don't think it necessarily made me sad when I did things like that. I did it because I knew that I had to. This is no different than when people don't put food in their fridge or they don't keep food at home because they're so tempted that they're just going to eat it all because they have not been able to fix that part of their lives. Sometimes that's how strong addiction can be in that way. So I wouldn't feel sad. I would feel more like, hey, this is just you trying to take care of yourself, right? Because you know you don't have to eat it. You know that probably whatever it is that you're ruining the food with isn't what you should be eating anyway. So if that's helpful for you in that moment in time, then so be it. It also doesn't mean that it's going to be like that forever either. Because as days go by, as you get better at taking care of yourself, as you get better at learning how to control, maybe eventually it won't have to come to that. And I mean, you've already made so much success, Deja. I mean, you've lost a ton of weight, and now you're at the point where, you know, you're continuing to optimize. You know that you are staying accountable so you don't have to, or you don't find yourself gaining all that weight back. you're learning a lot. So, I mean, it's a great question to ask. It's something that I don't think I've really ever talked about much or shared. I might have in the past, I just can't remember. But for anybody who watches this too, how many of you have done this? How many of you have either destroyed food or thrown food out? Or how many of you have purposely gotten rid of food and kept your place empty because you knew that you were going to be too tempted to binge or eat shitty? I mean, it's crazy how, like I said, when I hold this candy bar up, knowing that I have the willpower to not eat it, that's a lot different than where I was 2 years ago. I couldn't do that 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I couldn't have anything in my apartment. Today, it's a little different. I have food in the fridge, although it's just a bunch of vegetables and meat. But that's also different. It used to never be like that. It used to just be a bunch of takeout or whatever. It's funny how my habits have changed over time, but it didn't happen overnight. That's taken time for me to think that way and do things in that manner. Spike says, change your scale to kilograms and then you'll weigh less. I mean, that's a good hack, although I don't know if that's the smartest way of doing it. El De Vera says, I need to get on track. So, I mean, as you say this, El Devara or El De Vera, how are you going to get yourself back on track? What are you going to do? And when I ask this question, I'm not expecting you to say you're going to do a 3 day fast or a 1 week fast. Maybe all that matters right now is you give yourself a plan. Maybe you don't even know how long you're fasting for. Maybe you're just going to say, hey, I just want to make sure I get like a 16-hour fast in. And if I can fast longer, I'll fast longer. But I want to be accountable and I want to show up. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it means for you for the month of December. So keep us posted. I don't know if I've seen you here before. So thank you for sharing with us. Melly Mel. Hi, Melly Mel. Nice to see you. So it's off subject, but I'm jealous of you in those shorts. It's so hot here. 14 degrees here in the Chicago area. Melly Mel. I mean, I've seen pictures from family sending me shots of the snow, but how bad is it by you? Oh, well, okay. I should have read the rest. We got 9 inches yesterday and getting about two more tomorrow. I know you don't miss that. I don't. I do not miss it at all. I still get to walk. Listen, Melly Mel, I got to walk outside today. I got to walk outside for about an hour plus, and even though it was hot and humid, I will take that any day over the week over having to walk in snow and worrying about slipping and falling and wearing 5 layers. Um, I'll take that any day of the week. But Melly Mel, please take care of yourself out there. It's funny because I took a picture 2 days ago when I knew that it was going to snow. When I knew that it was going to snow for over when I heard that it was going to snow for, why am I mixing my words up? When I heard that it was going to snow over a foot or about a foot of snow in Chicago, I where did I put this picture? I took this picture um wherever I put it. I took it's the color, it's not, I don't know how to fix it's a lot greener. Anyway, just a bunch of palm trees in the sun. And it was just something why is it so, I should just share it and then share that picture on there. Um, I just took that picture during my morning walk and it was great. Um, and yes, I know it probably makes people jealous in that way. I'm going to see if I can share that really quick. Give me 1 second. Wait, is it adding? That's not the right picture. There it is. I, I took this picture 2 days ago. This was my morning walk. I think it was like 6:30 in the morning. I was just going for my morning walk. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. I just thought I'd share that. Melly Mel, take care of yourself out there in the snow. Layer up. As a Chicago, from one Chicago into another, take care of yourself. You get exercise with the shovel, right? That's something. Okay, let me scroll down here. I appreciate that, Spike. Spike says, Jerome, you're still kind of in vacation and festivities mode. It's okay. You'll get on track easily. That's my hope too. I mean, yesterday was a really off day. I ate 2 days in a row. I know that my uncle's taking me out for my birthday. So outside of that, though, I think after that, I think I'll be back on a normal schedule. So we'll see. I appreciate that though, Spike. Thank you. Jennifer says preferred brands of protein bars. So there are so many to choose from. I don't know if I have a preferred brand because I don't think there's anything that's specifically that great. But the reason I eat them is because it helps me avoid eating too many of just like processed candy bars. Sometimes when I want something sweet, I tell myself, you can have something sweet, but just make sure that there's more protein in it. For me, back home, I mean, I was eating just like the Builder's bars, but I know it's not people's favorites. Um, to be honest, there aren't a lot of protein bars that are that great to eat. I did try one here in the Philippines because I found like a nutrition store or whatever, and they had something from, I think it was imported from the Netherlands or something, and that one was pretty good, but I forgot what the brand was. I'm probably not the best at this. Jennifer, you would probably just have to try different ones. I would just make sure that actually somebody I watched a video and they use something called like the 10 rule. So like or yeah, the 10 rule. So like for example, if you find a protein bar and let's say it has 20 calorie or 20 grams of protein, they just say if you multiply it by 10, which is 200, 20 times 10, make sure that the calories in it are around that. So like for example, if something has 15 grams of protein, you don't want the protein bar to be more than 150 calories. I mean, you can if you want, but usually then they're not as nutrient dense, right? So like let's say for example, a protein bar had 20 grams of protein but was like 300 calories, which is like the Builder's bars I used to eat. The calorie the calories are just not as good. There's a lot more in that case for some people you might as well just eat a candy bar at that point. So that might be my only bit of advice, although I mean, I know Quest bars have better macros, but I don't like Quest bars. I think they taste weird. Um, but a lot of protein bars taste weird. How about any of you who are here? Maybe you can share because I can't even access a lot of different protein bars now. And if I can, and they're from the US, they're so expensive. They're so expensive. Okay, let me scroll down here. Uh, I see some of you sharing your thoughts about the whole throwing food away in the garbage. It's really interesting how many of us have very similar thoughts when it comes to this. Angie. Angie says, I've thrown food out. I thrown food out the window while I was driving. Angie, why would you? Why? Angie, I just picture you throwing food out the window while you're driving. Don't do that. Oh my God. But maybe you're throwing it out because, like, you know you're going to eat it. But just stop somewhere and throw it in the garbage. Oh, goodness. Anyway, EJ, do you want to chat when you finish the live stream? I do. I do. I know I emailed you. So, yeah, I'll probably be finishing this, I would say, in the next like 10 minutes. So, EJ, let's talk. Um, I'm glad that you reached out to me here. I was waiting for your email back, so let's definitely talk. Um, Steven says, I can't throw food out because it's all money. I want to talk about this really quick. Um, People tell me this all the time. I hear this a lot. I even had someone talk to me yesterday, a family that was talking about this, where it says, "I can't not eat this." They were really adamant on making sure that they lost weight, but they're like, "I can't throw this out because I'm wasting food," and I understand that. I totally get that. But at the same time, I think it's really important that like you ask yourself, what's more important right now? Is it the money that's more important, or is it your health? Because if you don't want to throw the food out, you can give the food to someone. You can put the food in the freezer. You can do other things than eat it yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to pick on you, Steven. I mean, you do you. You do what you need to do. I get it. Money is money. But I also look at this as I'm not just going to eat food for the sake of eating it because it's there. Because that's how I used to think. I mean, if you're able to do that and control yourself after, that's great. But I also know that like if I'm done, I'm done. I don't want to force I don't want to force food for the sake of forcing food because that's just what I used to do. And that kind of mindset would really mess with me. So I don't know. I think there are better ways of dealing with food, especially when it comes to donating it, giving it to people. Um, yeah. So that's just my thoughts when it comes to that. Steven says, can you explain your coaching sessions? How much does it cost? I mean, the prices are there on my website. Just go to finallyfasting.com. I don't know if you missed it earlier, right there, finallyfasting.com. You'll get all the info that you need when it comes to that. I did talk about it earlier today. So if you missed it, I mean, you can catch it earlier on the live stream. But if you go to the website, you'll be able to see what I offer there. So um, I always laugh at Spike's comments. I don't know why. Okay. Um, Angie says, keep sharing pics of palm trees. You're inspiring me to be a snowbird. I'll let you know when I go to the ocean and when I'm like traveling and checking out the mountains and the hills here in the Philippines. I'll share with you. So Stephen asks, what's the difference between autophagy and an OMAD membership? OMAD membership is just a way to support. You just get some perks on YouTube. Autophagy live streams or autophagy membership is an additional live stream on Wednesdays where we have group coaching sessions. So just FYI. Okay, I think that might be it for today. Um, Let me talk about the next time I'm going to live stream. So I typically would be live streaming. My hope was that I was going to live stream on in 2 days on my birthday at the same time, 7:30 p.m. Central Chicago time on December 3rd. Well, actually, that would be December 2nd for people in the states. So what I might do then is actually I might I will live stream for sure. I think what I'll do is I'll live stream for sure on December 4th, or this is what I hate because the times are so different in Manila and Chicago. I will live stream again, everyone, on December 3rd. December 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Central. But I might have another live stream prior to that. So look out for that. But I'll be live streaming at least at the very latest on December 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, Chicago time. Um, I'm currently fasting right now. I am currently, I'm not even that far in. I'm currently almost 11 hours fasted, but I'm fasting all day today and I'm fasting all day tomorrow on Tuesday. I typically would eat on Tuesday evening, but because my uncle is taking me out for my birthday Wednesday morning, I'm just gonna fast Monday and Tuesday, and then I'll probably be breaking at around like a 55-hour mark. I'll probably try to live stream before then, and then I will probably live stream again the day after or 2 days after. Let's see. Maybe I'll live stream tomorrow at the same time if I have time. I just have to take a look at my schedule. So, um, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So, okay, before I go, I just want to, I'm trying to clean up my stuff here. Just want to give an extra thanks to Deja for the super chat and for Eric with the huge $45 super chat as well. Thank you both for your support. Eric, also thank you for becoming a new member of the Finally Fasting fam. I appreciate your support, both of you. Thank you for the additional support today. To all my Finally Fasting fam members, thank you for your continuous support. Thank you for continuing to support me in that way as well. And thank you to all my everyday people or people who are here on a regular basis. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being kind and supportive to other people in the comments. Here's the thing. I think I'm going to try to live stream tomorrow as well. We'll see, but for sure I will live stream soon at 7:30 p.m. Central regardless. Uh, we'll talk soon. I'm going to start working on videos. EJ, if you're still here, check your email because I'm going to shoot you an email with a link. You and I can talk after this live stream, and that's about it. So with that being said, it's the month of December. I know it's the first, well, not for some of you yet, but for some of you tomorrow might be your day one. If it is, let it be the last time it's your day one. Stop starting over. Stop restarting. Just hit your timer, work on your weight loss levers. Remember that it isn't just about fasting for 7 days and nothing else. There's a lot when it comes to this. Continue working on what you're doing. Remember, you're not alone. We're doing this together, right? Okay, that's it. That's all I got. I'm gonna do my obligatory wave. We will all talk again soon. All right. I'll touch base with many of you as well. I know there are people who I have coached that I have not gotten in touch with yet. As I'm just doing this wave goodbye. I'll reach out to you soon. All right, everyone. Take care. I'll see you in the next day or two. All right. See ya.